Staying with us. All right, we're going to start with the Nation for the paper review. All right, so the Nation, let's start with that. New governors groan under heavy debts. Buhari submits asset declaration forms, shows zero debts. 10th National Assembly, Tinubu meets PDP, LP, other lawmakers tomorrow. Subsidy, NLC under pressure over strike threat. Controversy over attack on Kogi governor's convoy. Okay, which story are we starting with in Nation? Who has the major headline?
I do. It's not opening properly so that I get all the details.
Okay, let me take, while you're trying to get yours open, our former president, it's weird to say it, Muhammadu Buhari has submitted his assets declaration forms to the Code of Conduct Bureau. That's in line with Chapter 6 of the Constitution. His assistant on media and publicity said this. This was actually posted it on his Twitter handle, and he says that the Code of Conduct Bureau today issued an acknowledgement receipt. The completed declaration shows that his movable assets, that's the former president's movable assets, did not increase at home or outside, and did not add new bank accounts outside the only one he had in Union Bank Kaduna. He has taken no loans and has no liability. The number of animals in his farm recorded a little decrease due to the number he gave out as gifts in the last 4 years. And that's what I have. So,
okay.
So let me try and see how I can get all the story. It says, they've said that the newly sworn-in state governors are already on a warpath with their predecessor less than a week after resuming power. So the story went ahead to mention some of them, which is covered by adverts since I'm reading online. But they said that Zamfara State counterpart Dauda Lawal gave his predecessor Bello Matawale and his deputy 5 working days to return all government vehicles in their possession. He said he had accused him of going away with all the vehicles he claimed to have bought with a combined sum of over 2 billion. They also mentioned that the new governor of Akwa Ibom State, Umo Eno, has a debt burden of 264 billion to deal with, while Peter Mba of Enugu State, Uba Sani of Kaduna State, and Caleb Muftwang of Plateau State are sweating over the security challenges they inherited from their predecessors. So I think basically most of the governors, new governors, are complaining that they have inherited debts. There's no money in the coffers. And, you know, for Zamfara State, he said that the cars that they had used government money to buy are not present in the government house. So they're giving them just 5 days to return all the vehicles because they are government vehicles that has to be used by government officials.
All right, so ahead of the proclamation of the 10th National Assembly, President Bola Tinubu will be meeting the opposition senators and House of Representative members on Monday, that's today, by 3 p.m. I said that although they didn't give us the details of what the meeting would be about, but the report said that they believe it will be centered around the quest to firm up harmonious relationship between the executive and the legislature, as well as fine-tune the process of electing leadership of the National Assembly. If you recall, the National Working Committee of the APC had anointed Godswill Akpabio South-South and Barao Jibrin North-West as Senate President and Deputy Senate President, respectively, and also endorsed Tajuddin Abbas North-West and Ben Kalu South-East as Speaker and Deputy Speaker, respectively.
So the meeting is taking place at, they will meet with the Senate at 3 and then with the House of Rep at 5. And my thought was there's a lot of our new president is being very, very active. There's a lot of meetings going on.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we don't have a divided house. We have a politically divided house, but if we can get the politically divided house to be focused on, united in bringing Nigeria, delivering a better Nigeria for the citizenry, then will be good.
I like that I'm even hearing from this president. You know, usually we don't really hear from our president. So, I mean, he's been speaking for the past few days concerning... He's been talking.
This is where we...
Because
it's after now. We'll know
we'll now see if he's going to continue
with the action.
We need that continuous conversation. Let's go on now to the next paper, The Punch. Subsidy. NLC shuns federal government meeting. Electricity workers back strike. Senate queries Accountant General over 910 billion naira MDA's loan. Trapped funds. Foreign airlines plan meeting with federal government. PDP wants Tinubu to make asset declaration public. 18 die in Kano crash. FRSC boss warns against overloading. OPEC raises Nigeria's output as Saudi Arabia cuts production. And NDLEA seizes 390 kg illicit drugs in 4 states. Okay, story are we taking?
The human interest story said there was a car crash that occurred on Friday at Zakirai town on Kano-Ringim Road in Gabasawa local government area of Kano State. Said about 18 persons were burned to death. According to the Corp Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Biu, he had cautioned motorists against dangerous overtaking, overloading, and night travels. And so, while confirming the crash, the Kano State Sector Commander of the FRSC, Ibrahim Abdullahi, said other 12 passengers suffered varying degrees of injury in the crash, while 5 others escaped unhurt. Said the accident involved 2 commercial vehicles, and the people who died had been given a mass burial. They said one of the vehicles, I think the Volkswagen, was filled up, overloaded with children, and the other one was also overloaded. And by the time they collided against each other, one of them, was caught up in flames. And so he, attributed the accident to overspeeding, dangerous driving, overloading, and that was what resulted to the head-on collision that happened. He said the accident involved a total of 35 passengers in 2 buses, which we had mentioned that 18 were burnt beyond recognition. 12 suffered varying degrees of injuries, and people just need to be careful when they are taking those roads. That overtaking without seeing properly is usually one of the problems.
So I have a story of the controversy around Kogi State Governor's attack. Apparently, the attack is alleged to have been carried out by a governorship aspirant who was a member of APC but now has decamped to SDP when he wasn't allowed to contest in the party primaries of the state. He mentioned that the person's name is Murtala Yakubu Ajaka, and they said that his convoy was coming around the naval base of Lokoja. When they realized that the governor's convoy was on the opposite side, that they blocked the road and they were shooting sporadically into the air, and that the governor left the scene unscathed, but a few of his aides that were attached to him sustained some degree of injuries and they were rushed to the hospital. That's according to the Commissioner for Information for the state. But the other side of the division have said that they were not involved, that it was all a lie. They said they were not involved in the attack, that it is just out of fear that the governor is raising such attack, that where was the governor attacked, and that they were not, like, it's as if they are reporting 2 different things. So there's no information from the police confirming if it happened or not, but the Commissioner for Information for the state is urging residents to be calm. They said they've also sent a letter to all the members of APC that there should be no reprisal attack, and that they are urging citizens to remain calm, that the rule of law will be used to handle the hoodlums that have been arrested.
Right. Yeah, so have operatives of NDLEA intercepted not less than 76.9 kg of Canadian loud, a synthetic strain of cannabis. This was found in 4 used vehicles marked MSDU 68646. It came from Canada and got to the Port Harcourt Ports Complex in Onne. They said that the drugs were seized.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Mariam, you're going to copy your story.
Yes, so I was saying NDLEA had intercepted not less than 76.9 kg of Canadian loud. And this was done, they seized the illicit drugs June 1st and June 2nd. They had a joint inspection of the shipment with men of the Nigerian Customs, and it was based on, the seizure was based on intelligence that they had received that requested for 100% examination of the shipment as a result of, the intelligence. So these illicit drugs were found in 4 used vehicles in a container that had come in from Canada and had gone to the Port Harcourt Ports Complex in Onne, River State. NDLEA as well said they stormed Iwe Forest in the Iwe community in Owan West local government, where there was a large warehouse of skunk used to store 231 jumbo bags of psychotropic substance weighing over 3,000 kg. That was set ablaze as well. And then a few other individuals in Kano State, a female in Kaduna State, all possessing one drug or the other, and they were all arrested.
Okay, I was going to take OPEC. So members and non-members of OPEC have agreed on Sunday to cut crude oil production volumes in order to ensure global oil market stability, but allowed Nigeria, Congo, and Angola to continue to produce maximally to their OPEC quota. This is good news for Nigeria because according to our representative who attended the 35th Joint Ministerial Monitoring Committee meeting in OPEC held in Vienna, Austria on Sunday, they said that they're allowing these 3 African countries to continue to produce maximally, and that Saudi Arabia especially even cut extra $1 million barrels per hour over the weekend yesterday on Sunday. Said Nigeria's highest crude production is 1.3. They're hoping that with the new presidents and the new administration's fight against insecurity, hopefully we can wrap that up to 1.5 million barrels per day in the coming months. But I'm happy that that would help to globally stabilize the value of the crude across board, so that hopefully we should be able to benefit from that. Many other stories. Let's move on to the punch, or to the point. The Untold Story, how Commission forced 500 contractors back to site over 40 billion naira abandoned constituency projects. Fuel subsidy removal, Nigerians adjust lifestyle, says sacrifices for better country inevitable. Family battles ex-PTA chair for allegedly grabbing school principal's land, causing his death. Who has that story? Go ahead, please.
So, yeah, it's a really complicated story. Okay. It happened in the technical college, government technical college, Oshogbo, in Osun State. The principal had collected money from some students who were said to have been fighting as penalties. The money from these students amounted to 680,000 naira. Yeah. The PTA is aware that there is a fine placed on students that were fighting, and the PTA raised the issue after a few months that they needed to use the money for repairs within the school. The principal has spent the money personally. So the PTA now reported to the authorities that the principal spent school fines from children on personal bills. He must pay back. After going back and forth, he started paying back in 50,000 naira for 4 months before he retired. And upon his retirement, a new principal was appointed to the school. The new principal now called him that, how will you pay since you have retired the remaining money? He now brought his land to the school, the document of his land to the school. Fast forward to 2 years after, when the man died. They said the man died based on, he found out that his land, the PTA chairman has built a house on his land. A personal house on his land that he put as guarantee. So the children are claiming that it was the shock of that made him die. So now the children are saying, give us back our land. The PTA chairman has built house on the land. I'm wondering, is it that the PTA chairman bought the land for the remaining money?
Let us move on.
It's a major...
It's a super story.
It's a super story. It's a movie.
So he brought the land as collateral.
Yes.
Meanwhile, PTA chairman
has collected. That's wickedness.
Okay, so there's the corruption for like
who's on pass?
Vanguard subsidy. NLC Sean's meeting with FG TUC 6 pay rise. OPEC cuts Nigeria's oil outputs by 20.7% to 1.3 million barrels per day. Okay, that's not the story I read earlier. Senate indicts AGF over failure to recover 910 billion naira short-term loan to MDAs. Subsidy. Sanwo-Olu begs NLC to shelve strike. Kogi Guba poll. APC's Ododo picks primary school teacher as running mate. 18 passengers die in Kano auto crash. Zenith Bank MD emerges best banking CEO in Africa. Bandits kill scores in Zamfara, abduct over 30 girls. Okay, which story in Vanguard?
Yeah, the bandits said this weekend they attacked communities in Maradan local government area of Zamfara State. They killed many locals, abducted no fewer than 30 girls. According to one of the survivors, told the BBC Hausa service in an interview, which was monitored yesterday, that she managed to escape from captivity and returned only with her headscarf. Said the terrorists attacked Sakida and Jambako communities on Saturday afternoon, killing over 20 villagers at Sakida. and injuring others. According to a villager who survived the attack as well, said they woke up peacefully, there was rain, and some locals had to prepare to go to the farm. But suddenly there was a report that terrorists had attacked a neighboring village, Sakida. And, the local vigilante, that's the JTF, called the people of Jampako. They all came together with other volunteers and, they took up arms from the village and went to attack, the bandits. But they said there was a hill before you get to the village, and they didn't have any idea that the bandits had laid an ambush for them behind the hill. So they opened fire on the people, and about 22 people died and were buried. So they're saying that security operatives were also called, but those ones replied that they cannot come immediately because their armored personnel carrier was not on ground. They said some of those areas do not even have any form of security surrounding the place. So they said, but the JTF, that's the security operatives, tried by chasing the terrorists. Some of them came back. They had to bring back the motorcycles belonging to some of these terrorists. But the governor of Zamfara State is saying that this is not acceptable. They need a lot of help. They have called service chiefs together that they need to find a way to secure the lives and property of their people in Zamfara State. There are some areas that don't have any form of security at all. He has asked that they deploy security officials there, at least so that these things does not continue to happen over and over again.
Yeah. Okay. So I have the story. The Lagos State governor has appealed to NLC to shelve its plan for a nationwide strike against fuel subsidy, saying that governors are already discussing ways to mitigate the effects. The governor made this appeal, they said, on Sunday. He says that NLC and labor unions should support the president, who's only been, president for a week, and not turn this thing into a political issue, that the strike will not in any way, resolve the issue, and that he's hoping that even Lagos State, they're looking, that the president has said something about better wages, that even as a state, Lagos State, they're looking by January, to do something along that side. It's just appealing that everybody should work together, especially with this new president. Let us be patient, work with the president. NNPC said he has more than enough fuel to go around, so there's no need to heat up the politics. That's basically what he was saying.
So the Kogi State governorship candidate of the APC, Usman Ododo, unveiled a primary school teacher, Salifu Joel, on Sunday as his running mate for the November 11th election. The news agency of Nigeria reports that Salifu Joel is the current chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers. Very strategic. Very strategic. And the treasurer of the NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress. In fact,
I was wondering primary school teacher.
It sounded noble. But you now see this kind of primary school is an NUC. Yeah. So, well, Governor Yahya Bello said that he has done well. I mean, even though he said so himself, he has said that he will leave no stone unturned to ensure that APC wins for the governorship elections in November. He says that APC will follow and abide by all the rules. I was going to go to where he was saying what he has done. More so, my administration has performed creditably well in the areas of infrastructure provision, quality education, and healthcare delivery, amongst others. And they are sure that this new government coming in, hopefully when he's elected, he will be able to do much better, and they will not tolerate any politics of bitterness, condone any acts of political violence. But it's quite strategic. When you bring in a teacher to run, because many teachers are actually, they're very crucial.
A power block.
Yes, it's a huge voting block also. Very huge voting block. So it could be a strategic or noble.
Voting block if your fellow colleagues support you now.
But it's just...
don't be ordinary teacher, a new teacher. Now them get the power.
I want to quickly take the story about the Senate indicting the AGF about loans that were given to, they say special funds being abused. They asked the AGF to request and retrieve those loans. So MDAs had gotten a total of 910 billion in 2017, and the money was supposed to be a short-term loan, but the money wasn't recovered. They did not repay those loans back. The AGF has claimed that several letters were written to the Minister for Finance to authorize the settlement of this loan granted to the MDAs, and they obviously haven't done that. So this investigation was carried out by the, let me mention the name of the senator, Senator Matthew Urugbide of Edo South, and they were going through the Auditor General's report of 2017 and realized that there was an outstanding 910 billion naira. Short-term loan that never came back into the government coffers. Like, right, if you know what 910 billion naira would do
for Nigeria,
for entrepreneurs in Nigeria trying to get loan, even if you give it to them at 10, less than at a single digit, the impact will be massive. It's
Okay.
we're just wasting money.
That is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we start with our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.